Hello, beautiful Rapunzel ladies. This is Penina Taylor, and the reason that I look like this is, well, you guessed it, I'm going to do a tutorial. I did a couple of wraps. One was for the most recent show that I participated in Baltimore, and the other one was what I was wearing yesterday when I went to pick up my brand new granddaughter from the hospital, and a lot of people were interested in finding out how to do this wrap that I do, both of which were basically the same wrap using two different types of scarves. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. So I started with my Wendy volumizer, and my volumizer has about half, I'm guessing, of the stuffing removed because I'm one of those people who likes less volume, but I still want enough volume to be able to do a really nice wrap. And that brings me to a point that I'd like to make. The first point that I'd like to make is that, you know, I watch all these beautiful, beautiful pictures being posted of ladies showing their wraps, and so often they either apologize for the simplicity of the wrap, or if they're not outright apologizing, it just kind of sounds like an apology even though it's not. Like, I know you guys do these amazing, wonderful, awesome wraps, and here's my humble little simple wrap, and the implication being it's almost not even worthy to post, but I'm going to post it because I want to participate in the group and be part of the community. Now, the wrap that I'm going to show you, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's a variation on the Regal wrap. I've been using it for many years, since before I even knew about Wrapunzel. And the point that I want to make is it's a very simple wrap. It's two scarves, and this time I'm using a piece of lace. Sometimes I'll use a headband, but that's it. Very simple wrap, which I'll show you in a second. But the point that I'm trying to make is that this is my go-to wrap. This is the wrap that I do 98% of the time. And it's not because I can't move my arms, which some of you do have a problem with. It's not because I can't do a more complicated wrap. I can do all of the wraps that are displayed and made up, and, you know, new wraps that come to the Wrapunzel group. I can do all of them. But I'm a person who feels like less is more. I feel like simplicity is more elegant, and so I prefer to have my wraps match the clothing color-wise and style. I prefer a simple wrap. Sometimes I have a tail down, sometimes I have the tail up, but always a very simple wrap. So just the point that I'm trying to make is that please, please, please don't apologize if you wear the same wrap all the time, or it's a simple wrap. This is you, this is who you are, and that's what part of being part of a community is letting us know who you are, seeing the real you come out. And so I'll just get on with the demonstration now. Alright, so I'm going to be using two different scarves. The first one is a 2-in-1, which is very similar to the base color of my shirt. You probably can't tell in the video, but this is a teal shirt with wine-colored stripes, zigzag stripes going through it. So it's wine and teal, and that's my outfit. You can see I have a wine-colored shirt underneath. And so the colors that I've chosen for the color scheme for this wrap is the wine and the teal. So I take the 2-in-1, which is a nice thin scarf, and I always fold over the front edge because I just prefer the way that looks. And I'm going to make part of it longer and part of it shorter. So in this case, the shorter side is in my left hand and the longer side is in my right hand, but it's only a small difference, okay? Basically, when I tie the knot, I want on my right side to have a tail which is long enough to go over my head and tuck in, but that's it. Now, I wear my Wendy behind my ears, even though I wear my wrap over my ears because I have a problem with my ears hurting quite a lot. And when I wear the no-slip headband over my ears, I end up with a lot more pain. Alright, so first I'm going to start with the basic scarf, and I'm going to just put it on. I bring the front edge over. Now, as it stands right now, my tails are the same length, so I'm going to move it over like this. Also, you'll notice that in my case, my Wendy is poofy on the sides and the top as well. I didn't push it all to the back like some people prefer because I have a very long, skinny face, and it's much more flattering if I have a little bit more volume up here. If you have a rounder face, you want to squish it back so that you have more of your volume in the back. Alright, now you could just crisscross, but I'm one of those people who feels like it all has to be knotted or I don't feel secure. So all I'm doing is tying a regular knot in the back, and I have a shorter side and a longer side, shorter side, longer side. The shorter side is just long enough to tuck it all under, to bring it over once. Now I may leave it down as a tail, which was part of the request, was to have a tail, or I may bring it over, which we'll see in a few minutes. But the long side on the first scarf, I'm going to wrap around towards the back of my volume. So what I did was I basically folded it in thirds to get a fairly neat fold, and then just play with it a little bit so that it lays down relatively flat. I bring it around, and I don't like this much volume tucked up, this much scarf tucked up underneath my volumizer or up under my scarf. So especially since this one is going to be hidden by the second scarf, I'm just going to bring it up again and tuck it under the piece that just went over. Okay? So now it's hidden. I have my scarf. I have one tail. Okay? Now if I were using a pashmina, that might be all I do, just add a couple of accessories. But in this case, I'm going to also add a piece of lace. Now here's my wine-colored lace. These lace pieces that come from Wrapunzel are quite long. They're long enough, I think, to go around your head 3 or 4 times, and I only actually want it to go around twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on my head, and I'm going to bring it relatively close to the front. And I have kind of a long tail here. I'm going to tie it, and that's going to get tucked up underneath. So I just tie it in the back. Oops. Alright, so I have a longish short tail here and a long tail here, and I'm going to take this longest short tail and just tuck it up under my scarf in the back. Okay. Alright, now, next thing I'm going to do is add my second scarf, which in this case is a very wide, very thin scarf. Here, I'll unfold it for you. It's a very wide, very thin, long scarf. It's long, it's rectangle, but it's very, very wide. So what I'm going to do first is fold it in half. Folded it in half. And I'm going to take that front edge, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did with the base 2-in-1. I'm going to bring it over. I have the shorter end in my left hand, the longer end in my right hand, and I'm going to cover part of the lace. Alright, so I'm starting like in the middle of the lace, and I'm going to tie that. Now I can already see this is too short, so I'm going to adjust it. And do that again. Okay. Now, in this case, at this point I have a short teal tail, a short scarf, colored scarf tail that's long enough to go around, and then on the other side I have lace, and I have the colored scarf, a long tail. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer. Actually, I'm going to take the teal, because I'm just leaving one tail this time. I'm going to take the teal and fold it and bring it over to make a teal stripe going across after the colored stripe. Now it really doesn't matter what the back looks like, because that's going to end up getting covered, but the front leading edge I like to have pretty flat. So I've done that, And now I'm going to tuck this into my scarf. Alright, so now what we have is we have the teal base, we have the lace, we have the colored band from the second scarf. Now we have a teal band. Now I'm going to take the lace and I'm going to add another layer of lace. This is actually very simple wrap. Okay, once. Now, like I said, it's long enough to go around your head like 3 or 4 times. So I'm going to actually just bring it one more time, not doubled. I'm going to put it back just a little bit so that it's going to be covered. Basically, I want to hide that last piece. I'm going to tuck it under. Okay, now I'm going to take my long tail and I'm going to finish off my wrap. Alright, fold it. I don't want the green edge here showing, so I'm tucking that in. And then I'm taking this around. I'm going to hide that extra piece of lace and then bring the tail around again and just tuck it up under what I already wrapped. Alright? And then you adjust it. Now, because I'm doing the video tutorial, I can't exactly see what I'm doing. Looks like I have a little lump here, so I'm going to undo that. But it's okay to end up with a twist at the top. It looks like you did it on purpose. It doesn't look like it was an accident. So there we go. Just tucking it under the edge. And there's the wrap with a tail. Now, to me this is just a little plain. I mean, it's not plain. It's a very nice wrap. And I'll go through and just fix the edges so that it lays the way I want it to. But I think that I'd like a little bit of shiny to this. So I'm taking a gold braided headband and I'm just going to add that. I think I'll add it back here between the burgundy lace and the colored scarf, just to add a little bit of division. And then I tuck the dark part underneath the scarves. And I'm going to take my Wrapunzel pin and I'm going to add the pin to the side. And I always make funny faces when I'm doing this because I always end up pinching myself. Always. I know that there are ways, techniques for putting in pins. I just don't get it. Okay, so there we go. There you have it. And if I wanted to do the same style wrap with something slightly fancier like what I wore to the show, instead of using this matte colored scarf, I would probably use a sparkly scarf in the same teal or in a shade close to the teal or a complementary shade. But anyway, so that's it. This is my go-to wrap. Don't know what you want to call it, but I hope that the tutorial was helpful and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in this regal wrap variation with 2 scarves, lace, and a tail. Take care everybody and be well.